Like the Revolution of 1776, another revolution must take place in the hearts and minds of Americans everywhere. It is a restoration of the patriotism of our founding fathers. It is a return to the ideals of our founding documents and a knowledge of the principles America was founded upon. It is a knowledge of what our flag represents and what those proud patriots fought and died for, defending our freedom. This inner revolution that we must have is a simple idea with the same passion for freedom that our founding fathers had. It is an idea that became known as the American Revolution, when for the very first time in human history, ordinary citizens rose up and established a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. The very foundation of this new government set forth that men and women in public office are to be the recipients of power from the people, and that our public representatives are to be the servants and not the masters of the people. This is what separates America from all other nations, and this ideal is the revolution that must be rekindled in every generation if we are to preserve this liberty that is for all people and for all generations.
When was the last time you stopped to really ponder the founding of our nation? The creation of a constitution and a new government was a fragile experiment. Our government, for our republic, is still fragile today. It requires the participation of each and every citizen. It's no wonder that George Washington stated that no single responsibility is as important as each person understanding the workings of our government. Recent public opinion and surveys demonstrate that we as Americans could do much more in understanding and acting upon our civic responsibilities. A Gallup poll found that 73% of Americans were less patriotic than in previous decades, while only 16% said Americans were more patriotic. In the first nationwide history assessment test in 1986, 11th graders on average scored only 54.5% correct, clearly a failing grade. Only 1/3 of those students could place the Civil War correctly within the second half of the 19th century. In 2002, on Constitution Day, President Bush said, "Our founders believed the study of history and citizenship should be at the core of every American's education. Yet today, our children have large and disturbing gaps in their knowledge of history. Ignorance of American history and civics weakens our sense of citizenship. To be an American is not just a matter of blood or birth. We are bound by ideals, and our children must know those ideals." On 9/11, we suffered with our country emotionally, but many still do not maintain their citizenship actively. Today, we need active patriotism more than ever. But how can we heed George Washington's call? And just as important, how can our children carry on the patriotism to properly acknowledge and appreciate the freedom for which our forefathers fought? U.S. Constitution Educators is a national leader in the development of educational products, services, and curriculum that preserve our national heritage. The project is called Roots of Freedom, and it includes educational curriculum, freedom galleries, flag kits, and freedom bowls. Through Roots of Freedom, U.S. Constitution Educators has proven itself as the leading organization of its kind in the United States. Thousands of lives are touched every day through the display of freedom galleries in public buildings. Never before has a collection of America's most cherished images been assembled together in such a unique and affordable manner. Each of these heirloom quality prints has been masterfully reproduced and framed for years of enjoyment, and each one includes insightful descriptions that assist the viewer in gleaning an historical understanding of the painting or document. On the Freedom Gallery, for example, viewers can study Emanuel Lutz's painting, Washington Crossing the Delaware, and read about the pivotal historic battle that led to the eventual defeat of the British. Viewers might also discover while reading about the Declaration of Independence by John Trumbull that the painting took 33 years to complete, and many of the signers actually sat for Trumbull. The Freedom Gallery offers not only paintings, but our founding documents, reproduced on parchment paper and embellished with ghosted images of the representative painting. Young and old alike are inspired by the majesty and dignity of the images, displayed together for the first time. It is the vision of U.S. Constitution educators to place a Freedom Gallery in every school in every state in the Union. Already, U.S. Constitution Educators has received full endorsements of leading elected officials and community leaders who encourage communities to work to pull their resources together and provide themselves with Freedom Galleries. Patriotism is not just for the holidays, but should be practiced every day. It's not just an emotion, but an intellectual understanding of the actual meaning behind the words and deeds embodied in our principles and rituals. The Frenchman, Alexis de Tocqueville, observed the following in his famous 1835 study called Democracy in America. Said he, "If you question an American respecting his own country, he will inform you what his rights are and by what means he exercises them. You will find that he is familiar with the mechanism of the laws. In the United States, politics are the end and aim of education." It is this educational ideal that U.S. Constitution Educators is once again cultivating in our youth. Our Roots of Freedom program has a common thread: to educate and inspire young people to understand the principles of our founding documents and founding fathers so that they can take up their future responsibility as citizens of this great republic. Our founding fathers warned of the fragile nature of our republic. Too seldom do we in modern society heed their warning or remind ourselves of our solemn duty to defend our nation. The words of Justice Joseph Story in 1789 have great application to us today, in which he said, "This great nation could but perish in an hour by folly or corruption or negligence of its only keepers, the people. Republics are created by virtue, public spirit, and intelligence of the citizens."
Look great. The kids stop, they look at them. Our history teachers are using them to prompt writing and thought in their classes.
I think it sets a great tone to show that we are patriotic, we care about our country, we care about its history.
I absolutely think that this has helped raise the patriotism of our students.
And so we got some great comments before they were even up on the walls. Once they were hung, of course, everybody loved them.
The quality of the gallery is probably the best I have ever seen in a school situation.
They're making connections with our founding, and that's really what we're looking for. Make the connections. It's not a matter of knowing dates, it's a matter of knowing purpose, and that's what we want them to find out.
And it's a great teaching aid for any teacher in any school. They can bring their kids down, they can teach them about each painting and what each portrait means.
Just really reminds you of the freedoms that we enjoy and the people who fight for those freedoms.
So when you're just walking around and everything, you can learn more about America and its history.
I think it's important because it shows us our past and the important documents.
Parents have come to me and have been thrilled that we have it because of the lessons that it teaches the students.
If this display can help achieve that goal in any small way, it would be worth every penny.
Many of the people who fought so hard never lived to see what was accomplished by it, and that's an important thing for kids to learn, that they were selfless in what they did.
It brings out a feeling of pride in their country and in our school, and it's just a great addition to Bonneville High School. I would recommend it to every school.
Remember that it was before the triumphant voyage across the Delaware that Tom Paine wrote these immortal words: "What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything its value." It is our duty to remember the sacrifices of the patriots of 1776 and of every generation thereafter. We have much to be grateful for, and we show our gratitude by maintaining the great gift of freedom we have been given. Only we can pass the gifts of liberty on to our posterity, gifts that must not be cheapened or lost by ignorance. The signers of the Declaration of Independence, knowing full well that their lives were on the line, but knowing that it was an honor, even a sacred honor, to share in the common struggle for liberty, closed that historic document with the simple words, "We mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor." 2 generations later, Lincoln would comment that our declaration was not the mere matter of separation of the colonies from the motherland, but something in that declaration giving liberty, not alone to the people of this country, but hope to the world for all future time.
With your assistance, we are promoting the defense and flourishing of our republic through our children's hearts and hands. U.S. Constitution educators invite your participation in carrying our mission forward through donations and by helping to get this information into schools, public buildings, and homes. We are truly fortunate to be Americans. Will you be one of the people that stand behind our founding fathers and the freedoms that we enjoy? Maybe you will feel as Patrick Henry so fervently stated, "I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death." Thank you for being an American.